I'm Sharon Dingus, and what we'll be doing is going through what I call the Fit Facility Challenge. And when we take a look at this, what we're going to be doing is helping people, and we'll define what fit facility means in just a moment. But the intent of this, it's a four-part webinar series. And the first part is to help people understand as we go forward here is increasing people's understanding of the systems within a building as well as the equipment that are in there. And when I refer to your, right, is so many people who are part of this training are either owners, occupants, operators of buildings, or they could be the contractors that are working with them. They could be installation folks. They could be the property managers. They could be equipment vendors. They could be folks such as the SRP, the trade allies and other utility trade allies. So your is just a very generic term just to keep the phrase short. As well as there's a lot of information in the building. So people spend quite a bit of money as far as picking up the equipment that they need, whether it's heating and air conditioning equipment, it could be lighting, it could be sub-metering within a building, access control, different systems that are in their EV chargers, so electric vehicle chargers. But how do you get to that information, and are you getting to that information? And if you can get to it, what can you do with it? And so we'll be unfolding that over the next 4 weeks as well. And so part of this is identifying ways to improve the energy efficiency in the building. And I spent some time with the National Smart Grid back in 09, 10, 11, in that ballpark. And one of the companies, it might have been Schneider, had come up with the phrase nega watts, not mega, but nega with an N as in November, as well as the pressures for increased sustainability. And that's the right thing to do anyhow, regardless of whether you're talking carbon credits, whether you're referring to SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, the ESG reporting, so the environmental social governance reporting, that can be a requirement for certain organizations if they're public, indoor environmental quality, and we'll take a look at different types of buildings and what that might mean when we talk about indoor environmental quality, not air quality, that's part of it, but the environmental quality side of things, as well as just decreasing operating costs or cost avoidance, and then whether there are financial incentives for upgrades, which in many cases comes down to utility rebates. There might be some federal rebates and things like that. And then finally, by the fourth week, we'll have gone through the 3 previous weeks, and then what we'll do is apply what's called the FIT framework as far as how do you put together a roadmap for your facility? Where are you today? Or if you're in new construction, what is it that you're building and where do you want to go with this FIT facility? Is I'd like to have the opportunity to help people be less likely to stub their toes. Are there outstanding work orders? Maybe you've had something in override manual mode for months, if not years. In some cases, there are actually things that are put into override that people simply forget about. And then what is it that you really want and need from your facility? So again, as we get into that week 4, where you're bringing it all together, is having people step back and look at, these are my operations. This is what I intend to do, or am trying to do, or am doing in my facility. And is the facility supporting me in those operations? So that will go into creating that roadmap for your using that FIT framework. And then again, going back to the facility, right? Is it supporting the why? Is it distracting you from the why? You've got people in the office space, and this part of the space, they're complaining about it being too hot. This part of the space, they're complaining about being too cold. And oh, by the way, this person over here has a space heater underneath their desk. Decommissioning is something that we're seeing more and more of these days. So we'll take a look at that as the weeks continue here. Again, retrofits, remodels, as you're going through the life of your building, your operations change. And have you updated the control of your system and sometimes the placement of equipment within those systems to accommodate those changes? So there are plan changes as well as ad hoc, and sometimes the changes take place without people realizing that something needs to heat, cool, and ventilate. Now, one of my favorite